I have spent hundreds of dollars on memory foam, cervical contour, and so-called miracle pillows. Yet, I was still waking up with a stiff neck and morning headaches. So, I decided to run an experiment. I ditched my $100 pillow and slept on a rolled-up bathroom towel for 7 days. The results completely changed my understanding of spinal biomechanics. Today, we are exposing the pillow industry. This video is for educational purposes only. If your neck pain shoots down your arm, causes numbness, tingling in your fingers, or weakness in your hands, stop exercising and see a doctor immediately. This could be a herniated disc. Never forcefully crack or manipulate your own neck. Doing so can seriously damage the delicate vertebral arteries that supply blood to your brain. We are focusing on gentle biomechanics, not forceful adjustments. Now, let me ask you something painfully familiar. Have you ever gone to bed feeling fine, only to wake up with that locked up, cemented, can't turn your head kind of stiffness? Maybe the headache is already there before your feet even hit the floor. Maybe the first movement of the morning is a slow, miserable wince. That is not just bad luck. In many people, it is a mechanical problem. For years, we have been sold the same story. Buy the thickest, plushest, most ergonomic pillow you can find, and your neck will finally be rescued. But the neck does not care about marketing. The cervical spine cares about alignment, load, and time. And if your pillow is too thick, it can push your head forward for 7 or 8 hours straight. That means you are basically sleeping in a mild version of forward head posture all night long. Instead of resting in a neutral position, your chin gets nudged down and forward, your upper neck gets compressed, and the muscles at the back of the neck never get the message to fully relax. So when you wake up, it is no mystery that you feel tight, irritated, and sometimes even headachy. The problem is not always that your neck is weak. Very often, the problem is that you spent the entire night in a position that asked the tissues to do the wrong job. That is exactly why I wanted to test something radically simple. A rolled-up towel. No expensive foam, no memory contours, no fancy branding. Just a basic household towel used as a small cervical support to see whether better mechanics could change how my neck felt by morning. Because sometimes the most effective solution is not more softness. Sometimes it is better geometry. And that is what this whole video is about. Not hype, not magic, not miracle marketing. Just a biomechanical question. Is your pillow supporting your neck, or quietly pushing it out of the position it was designed to hold? If neck pain is persistent, worsening, or paired with arm symptoms, numbness, tingling, or weakness, get evaluated by a qualified clinician or orthopedist before trying any home strategy. To understand why the towel trick matters, you first need to understand what the neck is actually trying to do. The cervical spine is not supposed to be a straight stick. It is designed with a gentle backward curve called cervical lordosis. That curve is not a cosmetic detail. It is a functional structure. It helps distribute load, absorb shock, and keep the head balanced over the shoulders with the least amount of muscular effort. Think of cervical lordosis like the suspension system in a car. When the geometry is right, the load is shared efficiently. When the geometry is off, certain structures start taking more stress than they were designed to handle. Now, here is the problem. When you lie on your back on a pillow that is too thick, the pillow can push the head forward and upward, which flattens that natural curve. In some people, it can even create a mild flexed position, as if the chin is being encouraged toward the chest. And when that curve is flattened for hours, the tissues behind the neck are no longer resting. They are being stretched in a sustained way. Muscles like the upper trapezius and suboccipitals may stay on alert, and that constant low-grade tension can show up as stiffness when you wake up. At the same time, the facet joints at the back of the cervical spine can become compressed when the neck is held in a poor angle for too long. Those joints are built to guide motion, but they do not appreciate being jammed all night. So if you wake up with a neck that feels locked, cranky, and sore, the issue may not be that your neck is broken. It may simply be that your sleep setup is encouraging a bad mechanical position for too many hours. This is why so many people keep buying pillow after pillow and still get nowhere. The pillow may feel luxurious, but if it does not respect your cervical curve, it can actually become part of the problem. The goal is not to force your neck into a dramatic position. The goal is to restore a neutral support pattern so the cervical lordosis can exist without resistance. That is the entire biomechanical insight behind the next step in the experiment. If the pillow is too high, it can flatten the curve. If the support is just right, the neck may finally be able to settle, unload, and breathe. If neck pain is persistent, worsening, or paired with arm symptoms, numbness, tingling, or weakness, get evaluated by a qualified clinician or orthopedist before trying any home strategy. A good next transition is to move directly into the towel protocol with a tight before and after visual comparison. So here is the experiment. Not a theory, not a marketing promise. A real, simple N=1 trial on my own body. I took a plain hand towel, folded it in half, and rolled it tightly into a small cylinder. Nothing fancy. No gadgets. No imported foam. Just a towel. Then I placed it inside the bottom edge of the pillowcase, right where the curve of the neck would naturally rest. The goal was not to shove my head forward. The goal was to support the cervical lordosis without overlifting the skull. In some cases, I tested it with a very thin pillow. In other cases, I used the towel by itself. The key variable was position. The back of the head rested flat, while the towel gently filled the gap under the neck. That matters because the neck does not need to be cranked into place, it needs support. If the support is too high, you lose alignment. If the support is too low, the neck collapses. The towel is simply a crude but effective way to find that middle ground. Biomechanically, what I was trying to do was reduce unnecessary tension in the posterior neck muscles and give the facet joints a chance to sit in a more neutral relationship overnight. And honestly, this is where people are often surprised. The setup looks almost too simple to matter. But small changes in load and alignment can create large changes in comfort when they are repeated for 6, 7, or 8 hours. Now, I am not saying a towel is magic. I am saying that if your pillow is forcing your neck into a poor position, a towel can sometimes restore the geometry your body has been missing. And for me, the difference was not subtle. The point was not that I woke up feeling like a brand new person overnight. The point was that my neck finally had a chance to rest in a position that did not fight my anatomy. That is the power of an N=1 experiment. You stop guessing, and you start observing. You learn what your body actually responds to instead of what the packaging told you to buy. So the towel trick is not about cheapness. It is about precision. It is about using the smallest amount of support necessary to let the neck settle, decompress, and return to a more natural resting position. The next chapter can move naturally into why alignment alone is only part of the story, and how joint comfort depends on both mechanics and tissue quality. Now, here is the part most people miss. Better mechanics are step 1. But if your neck has been stiff for years, the story may not be just alignment. It may also be tissue quality. The facet joints in the neck are synovial joints. That means they are designed to glide, not grind. In a healthy system, Synovial fluid helps those surfaces move smoothly, almost like a biological lubricant. But when posture has been poor for a long time, and the neck has been irritated night after night, those tissues can start to feel dry, sticky, and cranky. Movement may feel blocked not because the joint is fragile, but because the system is under-recovered. That is why I think of this as a biological protocol, not just a pillow experiment. First, you improve the mechanical position. Then you look at the internal environment that supports recovery. In that context, some people look for a premium joint support formula that includes clinical botanical ingredients and hyaluronan, because those are commonly associated with hydration, cushioning, and healthy connective tissue function. One example people may come across is Joint Genesis, which is positioned as a joint lubrication protocol. The idea is to support comfort from the inside out while the mechanical support restores better neck positioning at night. I want to be careful here. No supplement replaces diagnosis, and no capsule replaces a proper evaluation. But when people are trying to build a complete neck recovery strategy, they often want both sides of the equation covered: support the curve, and support the joint environment. That is why I always say, if pain persists, or if the stiffness is severe, always consult your orthopedist or a qualified clinician. You do not want to guess with a neck that is sending clear warning signs. For people who are simply dealing with chronic tightness and morning stiffness, the bigger lesson is this: you may need a better sleep setup and a better recovery environment. Those two things often work together. So the takeaway is not that the towel is magic, and it is not that any one product can fix every neck. The takeaway is that the cervical spine responds to mechanics, and the joints respond to environment. When both improve, comfort often improves too. And that brings us to the bottom line. If your mornings start with stiffness, headaches, and a neck that feels older than the rest of your body, do not ignore it. Correct the support. Support the tissues, and get checked if symptoms persist or spread. This video is for educational purposes only. If your neck pain shoots down your arm, causes numbness, tingling in your fingers, or weakness in your hands, stop and see a doctor immediately. This could be a herniated disc.